Om Shri Chinmaya Sadguru Swami Tejomayananda ji says that problems arise when you give more importance to material things and valuables are given value over values. When values are lost, problems reign supreme. The lack of right thinking is the root cause of our bondage, sorrow, and problems. Proper thinking is the antidote, the one solution for all problems. A booklet authored by Param Guruji Swami Tejomayananda ji. This title may kindle your curiosity, and some of you may wonder how there can be a single solution to the variety of problems in the world. Let me warn you at the outset that I do not possess any magic potion or instant cure. I can only give you something to work on, the seeds of a solution. Once a hungry person went to a shop to buy apples. Instead of apples, he was given the seeds that he could plant that would grow into trees yielding apples in abundance. Abundance. In the same way, I shall give you the seeds of thought that can remove all your problems if only you will work on it. The nature of problems. Let us first focus on problems. If we analyze and observe, we will find that situations in life are what become problems. If you are comfortably sitting in your room, in your own house, and begin to feel hungry, the hunger does not pose a problem. There is food in the kitchen. If not, you just go to a restaurant. But if you are in a remote place and food is not available, or you don't have enough money to buy food, then hunger becomes a problem because you don't know how to deal with it. Whenever there is an inability to handle the situation, then that situation becomes a problem. If you don't understand the situation, it becomes a problem. If you understand it but find no remedy, then again it becomes a problem. If the remedy is there, but if it isn't within reach, then also it becomes a problem. If everything is within reach, but you don't know how to make use of it, human beings have a peculiar ability. Whatever we touch becomes a problem. It is the Midas touch. Whatever he touched turned into gold, whether it was his clothes, his food, or even his own daughter. Even the fulfillment of his wish became a problem. Variety of problems. There are problems at every level: physical, financial, emotional, social, national. All people, children, students, teachers, parents, leaders, followers, doctors, and patients have problems. There is no dearth of them. Generally, it is personal problems that seem to overwhelm individuals. During a yajna in Hyderabad, I met with different groups: homemakers, professionals, industrialists, and businessmen. Though the topics were different, I was surprised to note that all of them were preoccupied with personal problems and not problems of the society. It is interesting to see. It is interesting to see that most of the problems are related to dealing with people. We have to deal either with people who have difficulties or with people who are difficult. Two friends have a conversation. One of them asked, "Any new problems?" The other replied, "None. I am married to one." At the physical level, we try to seek a remedy for our ailments by gulping down medicines, but the real solution is to adopt a healthy lifestyle. Financially, people in trouble try to solve the problem by borrowing money. This merely generates more problems. One should try to work and earn well and live within one's means without spending indiscriminately. One should also learn to be content. Gandhiji said that there is always enough for our need, but never enough for our greed. God has arranged the world so that all our needs are fulfilled. Swami Tulsidas says in his Dohavali that God has given us all the essential things like food, water, and air free of cost. Inessential things like gold, diamonds, pearls, and jewels are expensive. After all, even a millionaire can eat only a limited amount and wear only one set of clothes and one pair of shoes at a time. When people say that they do not have enough money, it is mostly with reference to their artificial needs. Our basic needs are few, and to enrich our inner life, no money is required. Inner life is enriched by values and virtues like love, compassion, and right thinking, which do not require money. When we give more importance to material things, then problems arise, leading to jealousy and cutthroat competition. Young people work in call centers to earn quick money, but they lose their perspective on life and grow old by the age of 30. All this leads to the question whether we value values or valuables. If values are lost, problems reign supreme. Frustration. People think that education is only to enable one to get a job. After long years of study, when a person cannot find a job, he feels that the education has been futile. A lawyer called a plumber to repair a tap. He worked for 15 minutes and presented a bill of rupees 500. As a lawyer, I don't earn that much, the lawyer protested. As a lawyer, I also did not earn that much. That is why I switched to plumbing, rejoined the plumber. Education has higher goals. Parenting is also becoming a problem. Children grow out of their childhood, but parents do not seem to grow out of their parenthood. Vedanta suggests that after a certain stage, one should move from Grihastha ashram to Vanaprastha ashram. But today, an 80-year-old father expects his 60-year-old child to obey him. All this is the result of wrong thinking. Parents should learn to let go. Right thinking, the only solution. Thus, there are many kinds of problems, but Vedanta says that all problems arise from lack of right thinking alone. It remains the root cause of all our bondage, sorrow, and problems. It is said, Avichar Kruto Bandha विचारेण निवर्तते. Bondage created by lack of thinking, avichara, is removed by proper thinking. It is the one solution for all our problems. Three kinds of avichara. Lack of thinking. First, avichara means absence of thinking or absence of inquiry. If you don't think, ignorance continues. Ignorance is not bliss or joy, it is only suffering. Often we get into trouble because of lack of thinking. We have heard it said, a moment's thought would have shown him a solution, but a moment is a long time and thinking a difficult process. A mother went on an errand, leaving her child asleep. When she returned, she saw a mongoose in the doorway with blood on his mouth. Presuming that it had heard, she walked into the house only to find a dead snake lying next to the child, who was unharmed. She realized that the mongoose must have killed the snake and saved the child. She could never forgive herself for her thoughtless action. Inadequate thinking. Some people think but get tired of it soon. This is second. And give up halfway without thinking upon the problem through. People are generally allergic to serious or deep thinking. They don't thrash out the problem to find a solution. They begin to think but end up wishing that the portion would solve itself. 3. Erroneous thinking. Avichara also means virodhi, opposite or erroneous thinking. Some are habituated to negative thinking and others are experts in wrong thinking. In this context, I am reminded of a story I heard in my childhood. There was a man who noticed a buffalo with round horns and was fascinated by it. He kept staring at it every day on his way to the temple. One day people heard him screaming, "Save me, save me." When they rushed to the spot, they found him stuck between the horns of the buffalo. After rescuing him, they were curious and asked him how he managed to get stuck there. He explained that he himself had stuck his head between the buffalo's horns. On being chided for his foolishness, he said that for the past 15 days he had only been thinking of how to get between the buffalo's horns. Many of us invite problems by our thinking. Categorizing the problem. Firstly, let us firstly see the given situation objectively and assess why it is a problem for him. At this stage, we may find that the situation is simply a situation and not a problem at all. However, if it still continues to appear as a problem, proceed to categorize it. It could be any of the following kinds: a factual problem like a financial crisis, a disease of the body, or even a leaking roof; an imaginary problem like the fear of a car crash, a bleak view of one's career, or imagining a serious illness from the symptoms of a common cold. A subjective thinking problem based on strong likes and dislikes, prejudices, attachments, etc. Identifying the solution. The next step is to find the solution. If it is a factual problem, you can do the following. 1. Sit quietly with a paper and pen. 2. Write down the situation that is posing the problem. 3. Jot down all possible solutions for it. 4. Shortlist the most practical solutions. 5. Further shortlist and pick the solution that is within your capability to implement. 6. Allow it to happen, implement it. For example, if you want to go from Hyderabad to Mumbai, list out the alternative ways of travel by air, foot, road, or rail. Strike out the impracticable ones, such as traveling by foot. If air travel does not fit your budget, strike it out. Now your alternatives are down to road and rail, and you can choose based on availability, personal comfort, timing, etc. Once you have found the solution, relax and allow it to happen. There are some people who worry even after they are seated in the plane. I hope the pilot is well trained. I hope there are no hijacks. The weather seems bad. What if there is a storm? There is no point in worrying about things over which we have no control. Dispel these worries and relax. If it is an imaginary problem, right thinking will reveal that it is not a problem at all. It simply dissolves into thin air. The fear of a car crash or ill health is only in our minds. I alone can remove the problem from. If it is a problem born out of subjective prejudices, attachments, and the like, we have to think deeply, detach ourselves from the situation, and view the problem objectively with a holistic vision. A narrow vision can make a mountain of a molehill. A narrow vision may be due to insufficient information, limited thinking, and partial view, personal idiosyncrasies, or even sheer selfishness. A solution arising from a narrow vision can never be the right solution to the problem. For example, that which benefits man but harms other living beings and the environment proves to be harmful even to man ultimately. Methods of right thinking. What is right thinking? Every person, even a terrorist, thinks that he is right. The capitalist and the communist both think they are right. The one who believes in God thinks he is right, and an atheist who sees only his viewpoint as correct. The old man thinks that because of his experience, what he thinks is right. Young people think that they alone are right and their parents don't know anything. It is said that by the time a man thinks that perhaps his father was right, after all, he already has a son who thinks he is wrong. Many people are an intellectual, but actually fall far short of it. The three Upanishad gives the anatomy or structure of the intellect. Shraddha or faith is the head, or the crown of the intellect. Rutam is its right hand, Satyam is its left hand, Yoga is the middle, the trunk, total intellect or Mahat is the feet, it is its feet. Shraddha is made up of the words Shrat and Dha. Shrat means truth and Dha means that which holds. Thus, Shraddha is that which holds the truth. This word has very deep significance. It can encompass our entire value system. It implies that our thinking must be rooted in faith. According to the Bhagavad Gita, there is no one without faith. It is not true that even a rationalist has faith in his own sense organs and intellect. But our rational thinking must be based on faith. Mere logic cannot lead us anywhere. Certain basic premises have to be accepted before we proceed with our inquiry. We must have faith in the valid means of knowledge. If we do not believe in anything, our thinking will go haywire. With Shraddha as the foundation, when we inquire deeply and arrive at an understanding of the truth, it is called Rutam. Rutam should be followed by Satyam, the manifestation of that truth in our lives. Yoga here means absorption. The mind should be absorbed in all that yoga, in that truth. Mind should be absorbed in that truth. There should be a deep conviction that guides our lives. Only a person who has conviction enough to apply the results of his inquiry in his daily life is a true intellect with various philosophies and can write and speak eloquently on all of them. But on inquiry, we may find that they have no conviction in any of the philosophies they speak of. They know no peace despite their vast knowledge. Individual thinking must be rooted in the totality called Mahat. You must be identified with the welfare of the whole. If the head of the family thinks only of him, his own food and drink, and never about the needs of the members of the family, his thinking is not right because he is not able to identify with the entire family unit. When I am contesting in the elections from a particular constituency, I should think well about its welfare. If I become the chief minister of the state, I can no longer afford to think only about the whole state becomes my responsibility. But my state is only a part of the entire nation. Therefore, any decisions must be taken in such a way that it is not harmed in any way. In the same manner, the whole world is my family. When I am able to identify with the totality, my thinking will be right. My individuality must be merged with the totality. From that level, if I think, then my actions will be right. And whatever be my personal beliefs, I will not do anything that hurts the totality. Gandhiji said that when rules are made for the people, the poorest man must be kept in mind. But in practice, we find that the laws always protect the rich more than the poor. We must learn to look at life as a whole and live a whole life. In, if my thinking is based only on one aspect, it will be faulty. For instance, if my actions are motivated if my actions are motivated only by the desire for money, then they will be defective. In my individual life, I must integrate all aspects of my personality. Then my thinking will be right. In the society, if I divide with all, if I identify with all the people around me, my thinking will be right. One may think that this is a very difficult thing to do. God has made us in such a way that when we do wrong things, we have an inner voice that tells us that we are wrong. But we tell it to shut up. Learn to listen to the inner voice. Conclusion. To sum up, we face different situations in life when we don't understand them properly or become problems. All we have to do is utilize our thinking faculty in the proper way. We must cultivate right thinking rooted in Shraddha, Rutam, Satyam, Yoga, and Mahat. Right thinking is the only solution to all our problems. This is from the talks delivered in Hyderabad and Amritsar in 2007 by Param Poojya Guruji Swami